5 ways to cultivate friendship with God. Number 1, obedience. Didn't think I was going to go there, did you? Intimacy with God. Obedience. Start there. Why? Well, for example, John chapter 15, verse 14, Jesus says, if you do what I command you, you are my friends. By the way, Psalm 66, 18 says, if I cherished iniquity in my heart, he would not hear me. Now, see, I can't tell you how many people I know who found that they lost their intimacy with God, their friendship with God, because they weren't obeying him. Now, here's where Aristotle is this is probably why Aristotle was concerned about talking about friendship with God or the gods. He says, no, we're too different. Well, I tried to show you that because of biblical theology, we're not too different because of the image of God in me and you, and because the atonement and the incarnation on God's side, because of the image of God on our side, stunningly, we can be God's friends. But the fact is that God is not just like us. Yes, he's a lot like us only because of the incarnation and the atonement, but he's not just like us. And we must never think of friendship with God as treating him just like us. There's 2 reasons why obedience is necessary for friendship. Number 1, if you obey him, you're going to become more like him. It's called holiness. And all of you know who have had friendships for a long period of time is friends rub off on each other, you know? Friends rub off on each other. They sharpen each other. They move each other more toward one another in many ways. You have to. Now, Jesus Christ has already done his part. He's come an enormously long way to become like us. It's called the incarnation, the atonement. Okay, that's a long way. But it's only through obedience you start to move closer to him. You start to become more like him. And therefore, without obedience, there can't be friendship, because in friendship, people converge. They come together. They learn from each other. They become more like each other in many ways. But here's a second reason why obedience is necessary for friendship with God, and that is, isn't it true, don't we always say, that if this person is going to be your friend, you've got to let that person be him or herself? You've got to allow transparency. You need transparency. You want that person not to try to be somebody that you want them to be. You need to know who that person really is. That person needs to be him or herself with you. Isn't that friendship? Right. Okay, well then, how do you have friendship with the Lord of the universe without treating him like he is and letting him be himself? The only way to do that is to obey him. Obey him.